But what about even resenting yourself for maybe not showing up and doing certain things?
I don't think it's even resenting itself. I think it starts with resenting yourself.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And even hearing about that and like you let it go or the resentment and it happens because I feel like to me like guilt is even more contracted than anger, right? And guilt demands punishment, internal or external. Yeah. And I feel like that, like specifically when that is at play, like those are the things that like really bring about those kinds of weird kind of situations in life and stuff. And like that inner resentment, because like even see the innocence, like the fact that to me like there tends to be I've been paying really close attention to what comes up and the subtleties with how they come up within myself. And like even when I get angry or annoyed, there's like that nano charge of guilt at being angry or annoyed. And I've been really checking into the subtleties of that and the subtleties with how the emotional conditioning that's been happening, the states of how and what the complexities of how those things are happening. And to me, like that all comes together because now, again, guilt demands punishment. So it's going to be fuel, destructive behavior externally or internally, where it's just like, so now like you keep attracting more and more guilt, or like you start like more and more limiting beliefs, or like it starts unfolding and dis-ease, like physical traumas or whatever else. Like there's no escaping the shit. So it's like when and how you want to deal with it is.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit. Like how do you deal with it, right? So like these things come up, what are things that you can do to kind of work through that and process that? So
be honest. I feel like for me, the biggest thing is be honest. We spoke at our last conversation was about escapism, and like that topic came up. I feel like escapism is a byproduct of the protection mechanism of not wanting to look at these emotional conditions and these non-physical states. Be honest about it and stop judging it and stop judging yourself for it. We all are human, so you all are like starting with that animal instinct. The fact is, if you're really honest with yourself, when someone cuts you off on the highway, you would pull over and murder that person in that instant. That's the truth. Like you can say that it's not true, and that sounds extreme, and that sounds dramatic, and you're a bad person. If you're really honest with the savagery of the anger that happens in that moment, you would do the most ruthless things without your prefrontal cortex. Absolutely. And to me, pretending that to me anyway, pretending that you're not is part of the reason why, is part of the limitation and not being able to see the innocence of people.
But I would say at one point, I would definitely react that way, but that's like in the past kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people do react that way, and that's why there's so much road rage. Yeah. But like it happens to me still. Like when I'm on the road now, I welcome people to cut me off. I'm just like, go ahead, it's fine. Like it doesn't bother me anymore, because like I like, why should it bother me? Like it's not serving me any purpose.
But see, so that's the thing of getting to that level of consciousness where it's not bothering you. When you have that anger, when you have like these things that come up, I feel like it's not. They happen, and it's at a level of consciousness where that's what's at play. Yeah. And we're all stuck with the human condition. And so I think for me, again, seeing the inner innocence of people as to how things play out and why they make the choices that they make and all that kind of stuff, so much of who we are is inherited, and you make the choices based on the bumpers that you have, kind of thing. You can only bowl through this. You can't get in the gutter because the bumpers are up for a poor analogy. For me, it's been really helping me and supporting me in seeing the innocence of people.
I like that.
Because like again, just stop judging. Like you have or there's thoughts, and like you start attributing this.
What was the saying again?
I don't know.
No, innocence.
See the innocence.
See the innocence. Yeah. I just think that's so clutch, because like everyone's going through different things, and the person could get angry and they could react a certain way, but if you could just see the innocence, because deep down underneath all that, it's just a human, just a person, just like you and I.
There were that, and especially having kids, there were that 1.5-year-old playing somewhere, minding their own business, loving life. That was them. Adolf Hitler, Jack the Ripper, any person that you want to charge with any crime and any atrocity, they were once like an innocent infant, minding their own business, loving life.
And you still have that in them.
You know, so like
everything else is layers on top.
The
Experiences hurt. The more you get hurt, the more you hurt people. But at the core,
that's why we're so benefited.
It's all the same.
Like I'm so grateful for being able to go through these, like these last 3 years with you guys and stuff, to be able to shed those layers. And then recently, I watched this interview with Tony Robbins, his wife, and Michael Singer. Right?
Singer. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was great. Like just so many good reminders in there. And so Michael Singer, the author of Untethered Soul, The Surrender Experiment, and he dropped this bit of knowledge in there where he talks about like how you go through this stuff. Like what are some things you can do? One of the things he said was like find little mantras that you can say over and over and over and over again in your mind, to the point where it's like muscle memory. So like for example, see the innocence, right? If you can train your mind to always react that way in those situations, then you'll always come out on top. And whatever your mantra is for you, but that's been a takeaway for me, and I've been trying to like find little mantras, and that's a good one that you can really learn from. Yeah. Because you can train your mind. It's just like a muscle, almost like anything else, to deal with those situations. Even like Herman in his the meditation he has online, he talks about that. Like getting to that point when you do the meditation of kind of emptiness and that stillness, and remembering that moment, so when those times come up, that you can bring that up and you can use that to your advantage. So when that anger or that you get triggered, right? And I find that really valuable.
Yeah, 100%. Saying 100%.